Hello, I'm Michael McLeod, and I hope you enjoyed that intro. And it got you in the mood for my video here of my entry into the 2017 XRCO Awards, Pick the Winners Contest. I can't help, I just have to get involved in things, don't I? Roger Piper put up a video not that long ago, video/podcast, and somewhere in along there he said he'd like people to put up videos of them entering the awards. I thought, could I do that? Should I do that? Do I have time? Have I watched enough? All that sort of stuff. Yes, I can do it, and unbelievably it was SWAT back of adult films in the last little while. So I didn't watch nearly enough to be prepared to do something properly, but yeah, with the time I had, I'm pretty confident with what I've got, that I can do something relatively knowledgeable. And Rog, I know that you'll be watching and listening, and so I'm going for the Triple Crown. First video other than yourself, first Australian to do it, and first person with a disability to do it. So obviously going for the Triple Crown, but I'll settle for any of those. As for the prizes, privacy issues, and that I'm in Australia, we'll come up with something else. And yeah, we have so many things to work on that we'll be able to come up with something, providing that deal still holds. Alright, so here's the site. You can go to rodreviews.com and click on the links and find it easy enough. Otherwise, find Roger on Facebook and Twitter. He's promoting it fairly heavily. So here we go. There's a thing about the rules, and decent picture of the Elegant Angel girls on the left. Some more rules. Let's see. Yeah, standard stuff. Make sure you're over 18. I don't really act like it, but yes, I am over 18. So, okay. So first, question: best release. Now, I didn't watch all of these. I didn't get a chance, but I got through 4 of those: Colorblind, DNA, Lefty, and British Daughter. And if you've listened to any of my podcasts, I get impressed by intelligence and things that I think will make a difference. So given that it was a clear one for me was Lefty, I'm going with partly sometimes what I think will win, but sometimes just on my own instincts and my own interests. Now, Lefty was All Girl Girl, and Dana Spoley starred and directed, and I haven't seen much of Spoley, if ever. Yeah, and I was very impressed with this. Kind of like a Rocky or a Creed with women. Really good stuff, good scenes. Natural looking. Dana Spoley and Bree Daniels, the two main stars. and that worked really well. I'll just put it in as the winner of best release. So this is an ultra criticism, but this is my social commentary on this particular release. Alexis Texas was in a couple of scenes, and I kind of think Vespoli, it's a shame. This is the thing. It's a shame when, particularly women, directors in general, but female directors, go for names over great girl performers. And there was a time where I thought Alexis Texas was, in the top 10 of all time, and now I just don't rate her at all. Bit of a dud, really, and just incredibly overrated. Really doesn't offer that much. Seems to think that a porn set is a stripper. She's at a strip club. She's, to me, very jaded, and just goes in and does the same thing and doesn't really offer anything, and still turns up. So obviously he still has that cult following. But I think sometimes I wish directors would just go, no, we want to pick someone that's really good, so here's what I would have done. Because the other big name in it was Julia Ann, who I adore Julia Ann, but she's not the best girl performer going either. And I think it's a shame in this day and age where it seems like people go for a name to get attention over picking a solid, strong cast. And so maybe for a future, this is my video, so a bit of my own creative brilliance. I would have gone with Sasha Hart in instead of Alexis Texas, and instead of going with the porn star for the boxer, I would have gone with Sasha Hart being the younger girl, and so the old boxer, younger girl type thing, and she brings in Charlotte Jennings or Jenna Satvia for a three-way, and Dana realises that she's a bit too young, because you can see those two getting along really well in the scene, and leaves them to it. Because that's in Lefty as it is, there's a scene with Alexis Texas, Danny Daniels, and AJ Applegate, and that's way too many princesses in one scene to do something effective. And you can decide which one of those are the princesses. I think it's pretty obvious. And instead of Julia Ann, I would have gone with Tanya Tate for that particular role. A strong incredibly strong girl performer. And it'd be good to see Tate do something other than the mother-daughter type stuff that is all I can seem to find. Would have been, yes, come on, put it out there. Might have been interesting to do a Tate in the Alexis Texas role, and she does the cosplay with a couple of women that she chooses. Don't know if that would have worked, but it's kind of a nice fantasy. Alright, moving on to Best Parody. I only watch Supergirl. Parodies aren't my thing. Supergirl wasn't that good either. Carter Cruise is kind of hot though, so yeah. Wouldn't have minded watching Little Red, perhaps not Tracy Lords, but yeah. Parodies, strange. Alright, well, best Gonzo series. Not much to say here, but we'll go with Australia's most well-known performer, AMWP, code word. Take into account Gonzo women, men, threesomes. It's kind of cool of XRCO and whoever else to make these decisions to let it be all encompassing. Loves women is incredibly strong. Probably the strongest of those, and I think it's got the most volumes. So yeah, that's could go in on its own right, but I think it's good that it's just there, and it's good that yeah, it's not hampered by all of those the separate ones. It's just been loves movie, and that's it. So, all right, best director feature. Yes, predictable and sad as I feel about doing this. Brad Armstrong, because he had to just go back up for a sec. He had to DNA and Preacher's Daughter in the best release, so you can't sort of go against that sort of record. I would like Brad Armstrong films more if he wasn't in them. I wish he would just direct and not perform, but he keeps hanging in there. So yeah, Armstrong could also do it with a bit of advice with girl stuff. You know, you watch a scene now, you got Sarah Kira and Jessica Drake, and it certainly doesn't come across as strong as I already mentioned, Adam Spolly Lefty, and certainly the stuff Girls Way puts out. I've always thought that well, yeah, in particular Armstrong doesn't do Girl that well. It's sort of a wicked formula and very glossy, and it's more visually stunning, but yeah, it's more visual over chemistry, and that's a shame. So now, speaking of visual over chemistry, it takes us into Best Director. And against just because, yeah, I can't vote for Jules Jordan ever, because whether it's Jules or just his company, having a director speak while there's a performance going on, that's just a no-no and should never be encouraged, and should, in my opinion, shouldn't happen. So we can't go for Jules. Some of the others, not so much. They're just not my thing. Don't want to be encouraged. So we're going with, or I'm going with Greg Lansky. Lansky is the James Cameron of the adult industry. In my view, it's more style over substance. That's my biggest knock on him. That visually it's great. The women, come out really well, and particularly when you compare it to other things. So that's all good. And yeah, revolutionary from a filming aspect, but then when it's the actual the scenes and all that sort of stuff, it's like, yeah, it's still the same. That's ultimately disappointing, but I'm not a big fan either of that. Its awards go to quantity, whether it's for performing or directing. But I guess Lancey's turning out with Black and Vixen and whatever else he does. That's a lot of good material out there. So, yeah. Now we go into Best Actress. And I'm going with Dana Spaulding. That was pretty obvious, I think, from my earlier comments. Keen to think what Roger and Don Houston, if you tune in, what you think about how it would work, and I guess it's all complicated then, but Brie Daniels might have been a chance at this. I guess you'd consider it a supporting role, but it was almost a dual lead. So, yeah, not sure how that works, but doesn't. I probably still would have gone with Spaulding anyway. So, but just a question. Best actor in wrestling, the greatest man that ever lived is Austin Aries. In the adult industry, the greatest man that ever lived is Stephen St. Croix. The man is just a legend. I base my own ideas of being a man on him, and I think, yeah, he is adult industry or just a person in general. I would love to meet him. I'd have no shame shaking his hand, unlike other male performers who would be just like, yuck. Yes, it's all contradictory. I'm saying Armstrong needs to get out of it. Some of the male performers of the year need to get out of it too, saying who knows how old St. Croix is. Yeah, old enough to know better, but just the original and the best, I believe. Alright, for me, female performer of the year. Now, I'm not familiar with all of these ones. But it's, I guess, I'll comment on what I'm not mad about before I click in my choice. Bella Danger, performers like that, I think, I guess you can't blame her. But I think Performer of the Year is an all-round performer. It's really difficult, but Bella Danger, it is pretty much all about her backside. And that's, yeah, she's not, I haven't seen a lot of her, but I don't think she's that great, and I don't know why the adult industry sort of wore that. I spoke about Alexis Texas earlier, and she's, it's all about her butt, and that's it. And sort of like, that's now she's convinced herself that that's all it is. And I think that's just hopeless when talking about some stunning women here. And yeah, I don't like encouraging that. I don't like it all rounded. You don't know whose fault it is or whatever else, but I just don't think it helps the industry and people on the outside of the industry either. Whether you want to get into the industry or whether you're judging the industry and coming up with criticisms. I guess, my classic line. Why does the adult industry alienate itself? And yeah, I kind of think that when I think about a Bell of Danger, it's very much about being a sort of a physical object, and only one, or in this case, one physical feature, and that's it. So, yeah. Now I'm going to go with settle that. I really need to watch Vicky Trace. Probably like her, but AMWP, Australia's most well-known performer, is getting my vote. Let's go with the latest release, her site, unless she's updated it before that. Well, it's the latest that I know of. And her in an orange bikini, ridiculous high heels, but orange bikini, it's a little bit too porny for my taste. And so, at this point, we'll just go and some blonde girl in a purple. I think it's purple. Well, maybe purple. I wasn't paying attention. I was focused on the orange. And the tease is, it's, I guess if I thought oil tasted alright, or if, I don't know, the water, why can't they just use water or do it in pools to make it a bit more? I'm too sensitive. That's my problem. I'm too sensitive. I look at this stuff. Who are you doing this for? Why are you doing it? Etc. But visually, who's going to argue? And one of Roger's cool things to say when he will see tease footage like this is it's a good day to be whoever, and he will comment on bikinis, colours, all the important things that, yes, we do want to know. So this is all looking good, and in this instance it's a good day to be Marcus Dupree, or you would think that would be the case, because he just comes in, ignores the spectacular one in orange, whose website it is, and goes for the purple blonde. And no real messing around, just straight in. Now, as I said, me, the sensitive type. How could you do this? Why? I'm going back and watching the tease. Whatever. But Australia's most well-known, AMWP, just simply gets involved, eyes light up, and says how much, or how excited she was to see him do this to her. And that's the point right there. And that's why she gets the vote, because no matter how much you can say it over and over again, the questions are going to come out. Why do you have sex on camera? Why do you do porn? Why do you do all that sort of stuff? And not many people have been able to answer that well, or haven't felt they have to, or they just haven't done it well enough, and they haven't been convincing enough. And two of my all-time favourites, Aurora Snow and Stephanie Swift, have been useless in their post-career. So the need is significant still, because you're always going to have that hanging over your head. And yes, an Australian, so yes, she gets the votes for an Australian, but whether you like what she does or not, you can never look at anything she does and go, well, she didn't want to do that, or that wasn't that, that's not what she wants to do, or anything like that. She is as authentic as it gets now or ever. And God help anybody that would question her about whether she's doing the right thing or anything like that. It's obvious. I guess one final thing is that Angela 2, when was it, a couple of years, a gangbang, and a gangbang is arguably one of the most divisive, I guess, things in the adult industry, because I don't think you can convince the mainstream of the appeal. So I put my hand straight up, like, I don't understand the appeal at all. But whether you like gangbangs or not, if you are a fan of Australia's most well-known, you should watch the tease part before it gets to the manhandled by 5. The walk, the eyes, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, completely in control, completely confident. Yeah, cannot sit back and go, well, oh no, that was the director's idea. Oh no, that was someone pushing her. No, just no. No. So, geez, here I'm going on still. Tally. I think the way it is that in the last, must be 8 or 9 months, I don't know how long, but she's moved away from her side. So if you've seen her in other things, make sure you check out her site, because that's, whatever you think of her stuff for other production companies, it's not even close to her stuff on her website. Alright, enough about her. Australia all the way. Okay, male performer of the year. What a horrible list. What a horrible list. But what choice do you have? So let's go with some nicknames. So Mick Blue, Terminator. Mick Blue is a cross between Schwarzenegger and Dolph Lundgren. I thought male performers should need some all-round skills, not just one-dimensional. Now Mick Blue's about as one-dimensional as yeah. And this is where it gets all confusing for me. I used to like Mick Blue until then all of a sudden he got popular. I was like, oh, yeah, now it's like, what? Mick Blue works best when he's quiet, unassuming, all that sort of thing. Get him talking and all that. It's just like, no. Manuel Ferrara, aka Mumbles. I like Manuel a bit more than Mick, but his inability to not be Manuel, like there are times where he isn't Manuel and he's There probably isn't anyone better when he does that. Sadly, he's Manuel too much. Prince Yeshua. Tommy Pistol. Yeah, it's an arrogant list, isn't it? It's not many, humble men in that list too. Yeah, I'd happily hang out with them, or I'd probably trust them with my mother or sister. Yeah, I'm going with Santa, of course. Yeah, the need for new talent is frightening. But last of all, this was the worst of the lot. New Style, this was horrible to watch. I had to do some research. I thought, all young and all, the majority had that. That's just the thing. I'm too sensitive sometimes to be doing this stuff. Looking at it, reviewing it, which is a good thing for the industry. To take notice, a bad thing, because it's an opinion, so it's a helpful opinion, but it's certainly not a global opinion, because clearly there's a market for this. So I'm not saying that there isn't. I'm just saying that one of the criteria should be, who do you think's going to be still here in 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years? And that's what I ended up doing, and in that way it became simple, and it was Lana Rhodes. Yeah, geez, that was. I was, to use the term, I was pawned out after watching those. That was tough, and my sympathies, or sympathy's not the quite word. Let's just say I respect my fairy godmothers, Roger and Don, a lot. But after going through those performers, and only sort of clicking on back, oh no, that's enough. I respect them even more. So that's where we're at. All right, so that is all that. I will mention Flashbot when I've done it at some point, but yes, I am not gonna. Yes, so the images of my mother opening a big box of adult industry material scares the hell out of me. So I won't be expecting anything. I just don't want anything. But so yes. Anyways, yes, I'm over. Yeah, I want to be notified of future giveaways, and yes, I'm over 18. And hopefully now I can click on submit, and yes, reading, slowly, please work. Thanks for your entry. Winners will be announced. Why did it go all the way up there? There we go. Look at that, I'm in. Alright, well there we go. That's my thoughts on the 2017 XRCO Awards. Follow me on Twitter at LockMcLeod. Good luck to the award nominees. Rog, you know what to do. You are the man. you're too helpful for words. And it's, geez, I should have, I'll memorise those. I'll be able to watch the video. I'll go through the video of what I've picked and see how it went in an upcoming podcast. Alright, thanks again. It's been great to be doing the video. And Roger, if someone with disability can do it, then anybody can. Alright, see you all soon.